My name is Daniel, and I'll never forget the Christmas morning when my own mother looked me in the eyes and told me I wouldn't last a month without them. Her words cut deeper than any gift or wrapping paper could hide. At that moment, I didn't know my life was about to prove her wrong. Families are supposed to come together on Christmas, but mine used that day to tear me apart. Instead of love, I received doubt. Instead of support, I got humiliation. My mom's cruel words echoed in front of everyone. "You won't survive without us." The shame burned, but so did something else: determination. What they didn't realize was that this insult would set into motion a chain of events no one could stop. And in the end, they would be the ones barely holding on. Wait a second. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more powerful and inspiring stories just like this one. I grew up in a household where success was measured not by effort, but by dependence. My parents believed they held all the cards, providing shelter, food, and control. I was the youngest, the one they considered weak and unprepared. Every family gathering was a reminder of where I supposedly stood, under their shadow. On Christmas Day, while relatives exchanged gifts and laughter filled the air, I unwrapped not a present, but a verbal dagger. My mom's voice carried through the room, laced with mockery. "Daniel, you won't last a month without us." Everyone chuckled as if it were a joke, but to me it wasn't funny. It was a warning, a declaration that they believed I had no strength of my own. That night, sitting alone in my room, something inside me shifted. I made a silent promise that I would prove them wrong. The very next day, I began planning my escape from their control. I found a small apartment, nothing fancy, but it was mine. I picked up extra shifts at work, balancing exhaustion with determination. My parents didn't believe I'd last. They laughed when I packed my bags, telling me they'd see me crawling back in weeks. At first, it wasn't easy. The bills piled up, and the silence of living alone felt heavy. There were nights when I wondered if they were right, but every time doubt whispered, I remembered that Christmas Day humiliation. That memory fueled me like fire. Slowly, I built stability. I budgeted every cent, cut out luxuries, and hustled harder than ever. Within a few months, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. I managed to save money, earn a promotion, and even started building friendships outside the toxic circle of my family. Meanwhile, cracks began forming in my parents' perfect facade. Their once boastful lifestyle began to crumble under poor financial decisions. They had spent years living beyond their means, confident they'd always be comfortable. But reality was catching up, and as I grew stronger, they began to falter. The moment of truth came nearly a year later. I visited them for the holidays, stepping into the same living room where they had mocked me the Christmas before. But this time, things were different. The grand house looked emptier, stripped of luxuries. My parents, once so proud and arrogant, looked worn and anxious. In hushed voices, they admitted they were struggling. The mortgage was too high, the bills overwhelming. They could barely afford even the small things they once took for granted. And here I was, the child they swore would fail, standing on my own 2 feet, independent and unshaken. The roles had reversed, and they knew it. As I left that night, I couldn't help but reflect on how life had come full circle. The words meant to break me had built me instead. My mom once said I wouldn't last a month. But not only did I last, I thrived while they struggled to keep afloat. Sometimes the greatest motivation doesn't come from love, but from doubt. Their cruelty had forced me to discover strength I never knew I had. And as I closed their door behind me, I realized something powerful. I no longer needed their approval, their money, or their control. So I ask you, have you ever had someone tell you that you'd never make it, only to watch you rise higher than they ever imagined? And by the way, tell me, which country and city are you watching this from? Take care.